Welcome back to CT Sports Now. It's the defensive squad of the 85th Annual New Haven Register All-Star Team. We continue now along with Sean Patrick Boley, and we're going to talk about the guys that kind of the last line of defense, the DBs.
We'll start with the kid out of Valley Regional, Garrett Burdick, and it seemed every time he turned around he was making an interception.
Yeah, he had 12, which when you look at Max Preps, according to Max Preps, is number 5th in the country. I don't care where you play. He plays in the Pequot. Didn't make a few other All-State teams, first teams, I should say. I don't care who you are. He was awesome, and he made it look easy sometimes.
That brings a rush. Quarterback pressure to left. Looks downfield. And intercepted by Valley. Ball's overthrown. They're down. Looking down the field. Quarterback throws one up. He's got a man.
Never seen so many interceptions in one season.
12 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's not only good, that's not the only reason why he's on the team. And as you know, if you play two positions, if you go both ways on our All-State team, on your team, there's a good chance you're going to make our All-State team. He was a great receiver for them as well. He had 40 catches for 722 yards and 11 touchdowns, all-purpose yards. It was over 1,000, 13 TDs, which is tied for the team lead. 41 tackles, as we said, 12 interceptions, 2 tackles for a loss, yada, yada, yada. Garrett Burdick's on our team. He's a 4-year player. He started in New London. He made some huge kicks. I think he made some all-state or all-area teams as a kicker for New London before he transferred back to Valley Regional.
All right, we move on. We stay in the defensive backfield, and another two-way star out of Middletown, the Blue Dragons quarterback, but we got him on the defense as well. That's Tyshawn Jane.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of offensive plays here, but he also played defense, and that's probably where he's going to end up playing when he goes to Central Connecticut. But he was an offensive and two-way player that Middletown could not do without this season.
So, we're seeing him a lot on offense, but he can do it all. I think he fits your credentials.
Yeah, I know. Listen, on defense, if you go to his highlight reel on Huddle, you notice that some of his first videos up there are defensive videos. He had 7 passes defense. He had 3 fumble recoveries. He had a couple interceptions, 20 tackles. They didn't really need him as much on defense. Offense, he accounted for. The reason why you see him on offense because he accounted for 60% of Middletown's offense this season. And
60%.
Yeah, 60%. Throwing and running. The Windsor guys, they were all over him. They love him. And I don't think Middletown is anywhere remotely in the state playoff picture without him.
Totally agree.
Very easy pick. You make some concessions on some of these players just to make sure you got a guy on the team. He played defense. He made some good stats on defense. He's on it.
He's on. Well, he's a great player.
He's a first-team player.
He's a first-team player, as is Ryan OConnell, a defensive back, but they use him on offense as well at New Canaan.
Yeah. Now, here's another kid who was up for maybe he was one of the players of the year candidates along there with Andrew Stuber and Ben Mason. He was a kid who just not just he didn't bring just great talent, but he also brought a lot of intangibles. And he played, especially toward the end of the year, he played hurt. He played when his team needed him.
Number 7. You know what I love about watching New Canaan football is they understand the best ways to use their players. And the best way to use Ryan O'Connell was to use them a lot.
Yeah.
Just
I know. I don't know. I guess so. They're very smart players, and use them a lot, use them as much as possible. They certainly use O'Connell a lot. He had what was it? He ran 577 yards and 12 touchdowns. He caught 31 passes for almost 600 yards and 7 touchdowns. All purpose, it was 1,300 yards. And on defense, 36 tackles, 2 for a loss, and 8 interceptions, which is up there among the state leaders. And again, when they needed him, he hurt his ankle toward the end of the year. He said, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play."
Our last defensive back is also another two-way starter for Windsor. And Jason Pennock told me, Sean, that he prefers defense because he wants to be disruptive.
Yeah, well, he certainly did a lot of that this year. I mean, he was disruptive on both sides of the ball. I think you can be disruptive on both sides. A great-looking player. I think it was Ryan O'Connell after the Class L championship where New Canaan beat Windsor. Ryan O'Connell said, that kid basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but that kid's ridiculous. He's the best player I ever had to cover all year. If that's the case, then Ryan and Jason can be on my All-State team.
There you go, number 4, Jason Pennock.
Little style of finish there, and boy, I tell you what, Boston College has themselves quite an athlete.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most impressive-looking athletes you've seen out there. I mean, and then the stats back it up: 59 catches, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, all-purpose 1,500 yards, 45 tackles, 7 interceptions, which is right up there with O'Connell and Burdick, and block punt, 3 fumble recoveries. I mean, the kid did it all for Windsor and helped them get to the state championship game.
All over the field, and just you mentioned flair, Mark, but you could just watch him and say, "Hey, there's an athlete."
Yeah,
I mean, just an athlete.
I love the little fire rings around his highlight video too.
Apropos.
That must be a new thing Huddle has. I don't know, but
I guess the players get to choose it.
Yeah,
right?
I guess so.
they're
Yeah,
doing a
Maybe
good
it
job with
just
it.
appears because he's so
Maybe
flamboyant.
that's it. He's on fire. Our next player is our punter out of Fairfield Prep, a junior, Bruno Pearl.
yeah, I mean, this is punters don't get as much play on our All-State team, but we're always looking for a guy who will make a punt in a great spot. And he made All-State. He made the All-SEC. He was pretty easy. We didn't want to go with just a guy who maybe punts on the side and maybe he's a good player elsewhere. We wanted a solid punter. We want our special teams guy to be real special teams players, and he fit the bill. He was one of the top punters in the state statistically.
Guy could boot it, and he put it in good spots. I think he had one that was 64 yards this past season, and he averaged almost 40 yards.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a punter who nobody notices unless he gets, especially unless he pins guys inside the 20-yard line. He did that a lot. Really big, made a lot of teams have to go, 90 so on yards down the field, and that's what you want in a punter. You want a guy who just gets the job done, and then he's perfect.
He did it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll meet our linebackers and your player of the year.
Yes.
Stick around. We'll be right back with the New Haven Register 85th All-State team.